On the coastal waters of the South Shore, there are the ancestral homelands of the Wampanoag tribe. Prior to colonization by the English, the Wampanoag inhabited the waterways, marshes, and forests that surround Plymouth, Mass. The name Wampanoag derives from Wapanus, which means people of the first light, a fitting name for a tribe that lived where the sun would rise over Massachusetts Bay each morning. Prior to English contact in the 17th century, the Wampanoag numbered as many as 40,000 people living across 67 villages, composing the Wampanoag Nation. These villages covered the territory along the east coast, as far as Wessagusset, today called Weymouth, all of what is now Cape Cod, and the islands of Nantucket and Noepe, now called Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, and southeast as far as Pokanoket, now Bristol and Warren, Rhode Island. The Wampanoag lived on this land for over 12,000 years. On Thursday, October 17th, the Revere Human Rights Commission and students and staff from Revere Public Schools set out to gain a deeper appreciation for our local Native American history and culture by traveling to sacred indigenous lands in Plymouth that were home to the thriving Wampanoag tribe. Led by Strong Oak Lefebvre, Executive Director and co-founder of the Visioning Bear Circle Intertribal Coalition, Inc., the group first traveled to Plymouth, Patuxet, and later to the Tidmarsh Sanctuary. In Native American culture, Strong Oak is a symbolic name representing strength, resilience, wisdom, and longevity, often used to signify a person with a strong character, deeply rooted in their community, much like the physical qualities of an oak tree itself. It is considered a powerful and positive symbol across many tribes. The purpose of the visit was to understand the struggles the indigenous people have endured over the centuries of colonization, while recognizing the strength, resilience, and survival of their cultures, histories, and communities. The exposure to the indigenous land allowed the group to travel back in time and connect with the spirit and soul of those who lived on this land before the arrival of the Europeans, reflect on the inaccurate and false narratives taught in our textbooks for centuries, and foster cross-cultural understanding and appreciation for the indigenous cultures and their rights to ancestral lands. Before entering Plymouth, Patuxet, Strong Oak gathered the group for a tobacco ceremony. Native American tribes have used tobacco for spiritual and medicinal purposes for generations. It is central to indigenous culture, spirituality, and healing. As Strong Oak explains, tobacco is one of the 4 medicines given to walk in balance with all beings on Mother Earth. We offer tobacco to our relatives. We ask permission to walk among them wherever we go. Here, the group watches the ancient art of constructing a mishoon, or canoe. For Wampanoag families, mishunash, boats, were invaluable tools for fishing, trading, and transportation. The most common mishoon style was a dugout. Constructed from a single pine, chestnut, or oak tree, mishoons are shaped using fire, stone axes, and various other scraping tools. At Plymouth, Patuxet, the group met modern-day Native people. Some are Wampanoag, while some are from other Native nations. The group talks about the way of life and a culture that continues to thrive with a contemporary interpreter from the museum. The interpreter shows the group the rabbit stew he is preparing, using traditional methods and local ingredients found in Plymouth, like wild onion and other vegetables. A wetu is a domed hut used by northeastern Native American tribes, such as Wampanoag. They provide shelter, sometimes seasonal or temporary, for families living near the wooded coast as they hunt and fish. Wetus are made from sticks of the red cedar tree, and the frame is covered with tree bark or mats made from grass or reeds. These structures could last up to 15 years before the tribe's clan would move to another part of their ancestral homelands and allow the earth to rejuvenate.
So this kind of model is still happening. And like this one, like they leave it and come back after 45 years. When they do the other lodges now for the teaching lodges, they're up for about 3 years. And then they take them down and they take it away, then they build it back up again. So this is like kind of throughout Canada because this whole area was kind of in the migration pattern, going down. We were supposed to get to the place where the food grows on the water, where the white rice grows. We were all supposed to migrate, and the prophecies told us we were supposed to do that. Remember, I shared that with you.
Tidmarsh Sanctuary in Plymouth's Manomet section is within the region of the Wampanoag tribe, who in earlier times maintained a fishing weir at the mouth of Bartlett's Pond, nearby. Its outlet to the sea is sometimes known as Herring Brook. The name Manomet means bearing of a burden, referring to the baskets used by the Wampanoag on trails between their settlements at Patuxet, Plymouth, and Cape Cod. The largest freshwater ecological restoration ever completed in the Northeast took place at this site, converting a working cranberry farm to a wildlife preserve. Among the many benefits were the return of river herring and muskrat back to Beaver Dam Brook after a long absence.
Yeah. You can't go change the world if you're not changing yourself.
This is where
I believe.
you did the ceremony for Gerald.
Creator, we are gathered here today, first most with gratitude for the beauty of creation, which we are just one part of. We are connected to all life forms. In particular, we have reverence for the natural world. We learn and we heal much when we're in the natural, when we're out in nature. Grandmothers, grandfathers, four directions, elements. We're here today to gather together to walk upon this land, and we just give. We just have so much gratitude. That's mostly what we have, and may we have permission to walk and be with you. And we have a tobacco offering here.
Before you go, get started. These are actually tobacco seeds
Oh,
that you
thank you.
plant, and have for a harvest.
I don't have any tobacco seeds. Thank you so much. Grandmother, would you pick a place where we're gonna?
So for everyone to be able to, we just want to
Yeah, we have
Express-
enough, I think.
that we're on your territory here. We're visitors to
Visitors of the Herring Pond Wampanoag. We've been here for 15,000 years. And
and be good if we could each say our name. Like we are a known Hassan, and we come here as a visitor, and we ask permission that we be able to enter your lands. If anybody would like to have some sample.
yes, I'll pass mine around here. But
Yeah.
you take it in your left hand, you want your hand that's closer to your heart. Oh, that's where you'll offer it on the left.
Or take it out.
Yeah, take it out. Which I was bad and didn't.
Oh. I didn't.
But it's supposed to do it that way.
know which I love.
Yeah, whenever we do ceremony, we always take the tobacco and all that. Closest to your heart is your reason. There's always a reason.
And if you want to say your name or something, you can, or a word or two, right? Grandma would
Want to say something?
yes.
Well, I am thankful and I'm grateful to be on this land. And I appreciate the grandmother, grandfather for the seventh generation for letting us be here on this land and welcoming all of us. So I'm forever thankful.
Clockwise?
Well, everybody's got tobacco?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and can you stop and you can do
Okay.
that?
I'll walk with you. Yep. If you want to say a little something when you drop it, that's fine. We'll go slow. If you want to bring gratitude.
Land that isn't inherently ours just means that we have to take care of it more. We have this sense that if something is mine, I could treat it however way I wanted to treat it. But the fact that this land isn't ours just means we have to take care of it a lot more. And that's something that we have to spread that message to in Revere. It will take some time, but this is the first step. Is just putting ourselves in this position to really be vulnerable, and now like the next step is to take whatever we learn here and really disseminate that within the community. So I can't wait till we continue discussing about what happened today. But I'm really happy that we're all here as a family. I think at this point in the HRC history, we are indeed a family. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for that.
All right. So first, I'd like to thank Strong Oak also. Likewise, like many others have already expressed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, for being traveling 3 hours in a row. Gail, thank you for your wisdom. I learned that Gail served as a nurse for 48 years. That's a long time. And it's another profession also that likely other professions there, the nursing profession is very important. So, and also I would like to thank all the commissioners for being here. Steve from the city, uh, Asman, from the city as well, and everybody, and Tony, yeah, Molly for being here. This is and John for covering this event, this wonderful event. He's been here with us since probably 7 a.m.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
So this is a day for deep reflection. What I have experienced on this land is amazing, personally, and I hope collectively we all have experienced that. I'm just looking around. I see the trees. I see the ground. I see marks. I see stones. I see everything. Things that probably you don't see every day because every day you are either in school, in the four walls, or you're out there doing something else. So what I can say is that the lessons learned from this trip today will be the foundation work as we pursue our visioning of building a strong, equitable community in Revere. Revere needs us. Revere needs people like this, uh, you know, to pursue or to push the work forward. There's no other way around it. We have students joining us now. Uh, there's a lot of education that we need to do. We have come a long way in Revere. There's a lot of things that positive that are taking place in our city. That's something we have to acknowledge. But I think considering our demographic changes and the number of students and families that we have in our city, it is important to continue to push the envelope.
This is the beauty of our city and also for the Human Rights Commission. So we have to keep the respect and the love. And this is the important thing. And also to bring this to the community and to our next generation. When we look around, yes, I see this land. We all came from this land. We have the same skin. You know what I mean? So I love this, and I'm happy that I will be able to go back and even tell my kids about my experience today. So thank you again.
Reflecting upon today and putting it all into perspective, it, the nuance that it adds to the narrative of the founding of our country really puts into perspective that the freedom, the very freedom we feel like looking around this reservation, uh, it shows that it really puts into perspective that it came at a cost. Uh, the cost of lives of indigenous people and how it was taken over so hostile. So really being here and being away from the city, it's really mindful and really brings a lot of peace to your mind, while at the same time, it makes you realize how the freedom that we preach every day of living in this country came at such a volatile cost.
I am so grateful to have been invited to be here, to be a part of this circle, to have people listen to my words, to speak about issues about inclusivity as an immigration attorney, advocating that people be treated equally when they are migrants in an area. I'm honored to be able to come back to Indigenous land and be uplifted by Indigenous people in this quest for equality for everyone and equal treatment on land that isn't even ours to be regulating. I am reminded about where I'm from, where I was born, when I visit such sacred land. And I'm so pleased to hear from my fellow commissioners about how we're all reminded about something being in this land, and it really is something that I wish we could bring back and give to our community in Revere and remind people to join us, that it's nice to be included, but it's essential to be included. And through that inclusivity, we're really getting to a place of belonging for everyone. So thank you so much to my elders that shared. Thank you for that song, that you would share your wisdom, that you would know that we need you, the younger generations, and that the younger generations would listen, that you would listen and take it in, continue to share.
I think especially being here with you today, and just everything that we witnessed, um, it's adding to that, I think. Like being able to knowing that I'm going back to a space that prides itself in quite literally claiming land that was public before and then colonized and then made public afterwards when it was never our land to begin with, never our space to even make it public again.
That we're all part of the problem and we're all part of the solution too, because like when things happen in front of us and we don't address it, which happens a lot, where people are afraid to say their truth or speak their experience because they're afraid of things that could happen. Even the woman today who was afraid that we were going to bring controversy to their space, and where we see that even there today there's not an adequate addressing of what happened to Indigenous people here. There's not the where, if somehow or other the whole concept of forgiving oneself, if we knew how to forgive ourselves, maybe it wouldn't be so hard to be accountable, to say, look, we're a part of really a wrong that happened here, and how can we move forward together to work on this? And Indigenous people are really generous and open to that. Like, we understand that we all have to go together and that everyone's related. And so even those of us, I mean, even if you had a child or someone you knew that was in trouble, they will grow more by loving them rather than, making them feel like they can't get up off the ground after a mistake or something. So I'm just thinking about how upsetting it is to come to Plymouth and see all those opulent mansions, and to see the grudging amount of space they will acknowledge for Indigenous people. The overwhelming feeling that we get when we come to Plymouth, and even more so after seeing the little amount of space that was given to the Patuxet Village as opposed to everything else, is that they wish for us to not be here anymore. So they wouldn't have to feel that what they wouldn't have to see that we're still here. And then they could rest easy, like we could be their mascots comfortably. They still try to make us mascots even today. And so there's a sadness that I feel about it. But when I look at all of you, and I feel the hope of what's coming, when I look at you, Norm. I just feel, yeah, it's in good hands, because it's one heart at a time and there's no shortcut to this. And like you're one of the ones that are going forward. And we think a lot of you have come into the world at this time, and that we're your elders. And we need to be supporting you. We need to be accountable for what we've, like the legacy that we've given. And we need to demonstrate what it's like to move forward together, even in the face of all this calamity that we see. I mean, I'm looking at people that are not on their homelands, and why not? Some taken away without their permission, and other people are here to be in a better place for themselves for whatever the reason. There's a purpose in coming, and then when they arrive, look at the mess that we put out there. We're not who we say we are in the world. We're not as welcoming as we need to be, and we're not as equitable, but that's where we're going. And places like this can fill you up when you're having a tough day. So we hope you visit a lot. This is how it was, or everywhere, when the land was free.
Voice your concern, your excitement, your opinion, because in my culture, there's a saying called the Banks Nang Risai, which means you are the next generation of manhood. Um, so, I mean, not man, humankind.
Well, that too.
Yes, that too. So, I will do anything in my power to make sure that there is a real pure love and empathy and peace and equity there. Um, Knowing that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and a lot of violence that happen on the street also happen at home. There's a lot of violence at home that stem to other violence on the street as well. So I want to be part of that community solutions and all kinds of violence, gender-based violence, violence against women, children, and all kinds of violence, and really modeling that. And I have seen a lot lately that people, it's like instead of cherish, embrace people who are kind, instead they take advantage of people who are kind. And yet I still encourage people who are kind still be kind. Don't have all of those animosity really changing the way you are. When I was with the teacher last week, learning that a lot of kids need lots of guidance and support from the adults, especially around what is healthy relationship, what is consent, what is boundary, what is respect. So I just want us to, for me, make a commitment, and also want us to really looking and reflecting within ourselves how we contribute as an individual to all of this. Like Grandmother Stronghold said, we're also part of the solution. We are part of the problem, we're also part of the solution, right? There's always solution to every issue. So I know my commitment that I'm gonna always reflect on myself.
Not just to be hopeful, but to stay hopeful, to forgive others, to be respectful, to be mindful, and to care about others, and to be grateful. Grateful to their parents, grateful to their surroundings, grateful to the opportunities they get. I'm really grateful for my parents for raising me this way and teaching me how to be a good student, just to be respectful and always pushing me to do the right thing. And I'm really thankful today for receiving an invitation from Dr. Garcia to come here, because after seeing everything and meeting everyone, you're all so kind that I did not expect that I would be in an environment where I would find people that actually cared and had when made us go to lands that do not only belong to us, but to everyone. So everyone can just be fair. So we can live in environments where it's not going to be 100%, but we need to work to be 100%. No one can be perfect. Nothing can be perfect. That's why we always have to try to improve. There's always room for improvements. People may forget everything. Many people forget things, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. That is very important. Yeah. That we must work to help each other.
I was saying myself, these kind of people, you won't find them like kind of anywhere. And I said to Dr. Garcia this morning, I think these people involved like kind of three activists. We need those kind of people around us. And we need these people on this planet because that's the only way we can protect what we currently have, especially this land. And you have a land like this. And I was talking to Ellen about the kind of the fear I have on the upcoming years, probably another 50 years, what will happen to this land? Do this land gonna be existed or not? Do like kind of you're gonna see some building on it, kind of why some people gonna claim it, say, okay, look, we wanna put like kind of apartment on it. So we're gonna need people like kind of to continue like kind of to make like kind of aware of the around the world, the kind of this country. Because we're lucky, we are in Massachusetts. We have some people that kind of have different ideas about like kind of people living in the South. When you're talking about like when you take like kind of 13 colonies states, we're not the same as like kind of other states. We have a different mentality, we have a different mind. But I think we need the kind of to continue as to work together with the other group of like kind of the other state to teach them like kind of how to be together, to respect each other, to make sure like kind of we don't preach violence. We make sure like kind of that we know we all in this fight together. Black, white, we all have the same blood. It doesn't matter you white, you yellow, you like kind of any colors. When you get pinched by something, it's you see blood coming out. It doesn't come in as a black, as a yellow. It came out as a red.
You go ahead.
Oh yeah,
There
tell
you
us.
go.
Tell
Be
us.
cautious for what we say and what we do, so we make sure everyone is included.
Inclusive. Yeah,
It's
that's so
important.
important, the inclusivity.
Yeah.
You're so young to know all this. I
I
just,
know.
I love being
That's
here
why
with
he's
you.
here with
Yeah.
us,
Because he
right?
does that for all
Yeah.
of you, right?
Yeah.
So I really like this environment.
Yes.
No, so you came with this group.
Yeah.
Visit a place called Plymouth, and especially all these indigenous sites that you saw and uh, experience you're getting. And so when you go back to your family, the school, what message would you like to share with your colleagues and tell them about the wonderful experience that you got with us here? What are you going to tell your family today when you go home? Was it worthwhile? Was it something that you were not expecting? What about tomorrow? Your colleagues at school?
Okay, so when I go home, I'll tell my parents what happened. I'll tell them how much I've learned about the indigenous people and the way they lived and the way everyone should be respected and treated fairly. And just learning about today and seeing how people lived back then and just learning about their history and how they were treated and how they came here and made their way of life. Everyone should be treated fairly. So tomorrow or any day when I go to school or any environments, I'll always think that whatever I say, whatever I do, I have to keep in mind that everyone has feelings and we should always respect each other and our culture.
What I think about visiting places like this, it always reminds me about the importance of building cross-cultural understanding among people from different faiths, different beliefs, experiences, and so on and so forth. So just being here with all of you, I can see, um, you know, the collegiality growing, the understanding of each other growing. I've learned things that I probably from um, some of you that probably did not know about. So visiting places this morning and now here reminds me about how small we are, as you know, and small not in the sense of being diminutive or demeaning us, but small in terms of Sometimes we believe that we are these grandiose, right? And there is a common denominator that unifies and brings us together. And what we see is this circle of people. It really gives me hope that there is always a better tomorrow. It gives me hope that, certainly there is something that is in us that makes us the people of the world. We are one people, after all.
It doesn't belong to me. I know that.
But we belong to the land and land belongs to us.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. A lot of times, some of my other friends, they see the whole thing as stewardship. But stewardship is, yes, it's good, but that's all about you doing something, taking care of it's got to be a reciprocal thing.
Right.
And that's one of my father used to say that. You take care of the land, it'll take care of you.
Just being here, I feel different. It just moving away from the great cities, the cities, the noise, and being on a land that is very sacred, and it's that is, you can feel the purity of this place. Just even the air that you breathe is totally different. So my 2 sentences, that if I would put one message together for us, it's for us to be united, stronger, and whenever we have an opportunity to learn and go and share the knowledge, there's nothing that replaces experience that you see, that you experience in the real place. Textbooks is one thing, learning from the field is a total different ball game. So if I were to put my reflections together, I thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for being here today. I really enjoy it.
We sing to the rocks to acknowledge them as keepers of ancestral memory. As we conclude our day together in this magnificent Plymouth Historic District, we invite you to reflect deeply on today's experience and take actionable steps to educate our children and others about the Wampanoag's rich history, culture, and tradition, as well as how these elements relate to their land and way of life. We believe that this self-awareness journey will help us understand the grief and suffering that the Wampanoag people have undergone for generations, allowing us to take conscious steps toward creating a more equitable and inclusive society. As we honor American Native American Heritage Month, we invite you to be a real social justice ambassador, a change agent, and an advocate for the downtrodden.